So where are you going to go hiking in Switzerland over Easter? That's a good question because April is not hiking season. In fact, a lot of the ski resorts are still open through the middle of April, and then all the mountain resorts are going to be closed until about mid-June when they reopen for summer hiking season. So if you're coming to Switzerland over Easter break, you have to be a little bit careful about where you choose to go, and yeah, choosing hikes is a little tricky, but don't worry, I've got 10 great hikes for you. They're going to have beautiful views. They're going to show you classic Switzerland. Let's get on with the list. I have a detailed post on the website where I have all the information I'm talking about here and more, so I will put a link in the description below. I also have a free download on that post that just has kind of a summary checklist of what I'm talking about here, so if you don't want to have to take notes, you go ahead and go download that for free, and then yeah, you have all the information with you. If you're new here, please subscribe to our channel and click that little notification bell so you don't miss any of our upcoming videos. And now let's jump into the 10 tips of where to hike in Switzerland over Easter break. Hike number 1 is Mount Rigi, and this mountain is close to both Lucerne and Zurich. It's easy to access both by public transportation and car, and it's relatively affordable compared to a lot of the other mountains in the region. And the good thing here is that the mountain transport, the trains that go up the mountain, run all year round, and the panorama trail there is open both as a winter walk and as a normal hiking trail in summer. So this trail you can really do any time of year. During this kind of shoulder season, it can get quite wet and muddy, and I've been there twice in early April, and I've done the trail. It's been a lot of fun, but it's been really wet. So I would highly recommend having waterproof shoes. We had people in our group that only had regular sneakers and had pretty wet, cold feet, even though it was a pretty warm, sunny day. So this has gorgeous views. I'm going to show you some of them here, and it's really my top pick for springtime. Hike number 2 is the Swiss Path. This is a long distance path that's on the bottom of the lake that's on Lucerne. This is called the Vierwaldstätter See, but a lot of people just call it Lake Lucerne. The full trail is something like 35 kilometers, but you don't have to do the whole thing. On my website, I do an overview of the trail and then talk about the different sections that you can do. So some of them are better for springtime than others. Some of them are a little prettier than others. It's more of a civilized trail. I mean, it has gorgeous views of the lake and all the mountains around, but sometimes you're walking by a road or through the villages. So it's not like you're being in a mountain hike, but it's still really, really beautiful and a great choice for spring because it's pretty much open anytime unless there's really heavy snowfall, and in April it should be absolutely accessible. Number 3 is the walk through the Lauterbrunnen Valley in the Jungfrau Region. And the reason I have this is because so many tourists go to the Jungfrau Region because it's so popular. But if they're there when it's not hiking season, then they're just like, where am I going to go? And the Lauterbrunnen Valley is the perfect choice. So it's basically a country road that goes down through the valley. I think it's about 4 kilometers from Lauterbrunnen in the village, where you can park your car or take the train, down to Stechelberg, where the cable car goes up to the Schilthorn. And so you don't have to go the whole way. There is a bus that runs parallel along this road. This road doesn't really have any traffic. It's only people that live on that road. It's not for through traffic. And it's gorgeous. You've got mountains on both sides, cliffs on both sides. If the snow is melting, you will have a lot of waterfalls, but April, I'm not sure if you're going to see those waterfalls at that point. But yeah, beautiful, great choice for if you're in the Jungfrau region. Now, at the end of this post, I'm going to talk about some winter walks because the ski resorts are scheduled to be open through the middle of April, and so winter walks might be a good choice, but I'll get to that later. I'm curious, are you traveling to Switzerland over Easter break, or are you someone who's living here in Switzerland and hosting visitors over Easter break? So I have a poll up there. Let me know which one it is. Number 4 on my list is Ballenberg, and this is an open-air museum in the Berner Oberland, so it's pretty near Interlaken. And this is open for Easter weekend, at least that's what they said on their website for this year, so in 2020. It is like they've taken all of Switzerland and put it into one place. So it's like going into the Alps, so they have big open meadows, you have all these mountain views, and they've transported buildings from different parts of Switzerland to this one park. So you can wander around like you're hiking. It's a pretty big park, and then come across different cultural parts of Switzerland. And they sometimes have live demonstrations of making cheese and chocolate and blacksmiths, that sort of thing. It's kind of the colonial Williamsburg of Switzerland. In Early April, the pictures I'm going to be showing you here were done in June. So in early April, you know, not all the trees are going to be full and not all the flowers are going to be out because it's still in between seasons. But it should be still really pretty and it gives that cultural experience. So I think it's a great choice for springtime. Number 5 on my list are the Giessbach waterfalls, and these are also near Interlaken. They're kind of between Interlaken and Ballenberg, so these are a great choice if you're centered in this area. You can take a ferry to the bottom of the falls, and then you can take a funicular up to where the hotel and restaurant are, and then you can hike further up the falls from there. Or you can skip the funicular and just hike all the way up. So you have a nice little hike. I mean, it's a little civilized, but you're going by the falls the whole way. It's really, really pretty. So the hotel and the restaurant and the funicular all are open at the beginning of April, so should be ready to go by Easter break. So I think this is also a great choice, especially if you're staying either in the Jungfrau Region or the Interlaken area. Number 6 on my list is Sattel Hochstuckli, also in central Switzerland near Luzern and Zurich. Now, this is usually more of a locals only kind of place, but it is one of the first mountain areas to open in springtime, and so that's why it's on my list. And it is really, really gorgeous. So it's probably not going to be on any of your tourist lists, but I think it's a great option for springtime, especially if you have kids. So you take a cable car to get up to the area, and it's pretty low elevation. So I've been there this same time when Easter is going to be, so that first and second week of April, and I've done this panorama trail that they have there, and there's been a couple snow patches in the snow, but usually it's all melted and it's been gorgeous, and we've been in short sleeves. So I think it's a great option. The panorama trail is about a 5-kilometer loop, maybe a little bit longer. They've got a cool suspension bridge you can walk over, and then hopefully the amusement area will be open. Sometimes the first week that they're open it's not, but I think Easter weekend for sure they're going to open it, but you should definitely check the website. They have a ton of bouncy castles. They have this alpine slide or Rotobahn, whatever you want to call it, and then you can buy a day pass so you can do unlimited rides on the alpine slide, and the kids can bounce their little hearts out on all the bouncy castles, and then you can enjoy the views and sit at the restaurant. So it can get pretty crowded, but in springtime, usually when we've gone in early April, it's pretty quiet. But I don't know, Easter weekend probably a little loud there. But definitely check the website to make sure everything's open so you don't disappoint the kids. Because I did go their opening weekend one time, and they said they were going to have all the amusements open. But I didn't check that morning, and when the kids got there, only the alpine slide was open and not all the bouncy castles. So they were pretty disappointed. So definitely check before you go out. But gorgeous views, really like this place. Now I'm moving down to southern Switzerland where spring comes a little bit earlier and it's usually warmer, so in the Ticino area. So number 7 on my list is Cardada Cimetta, probably saying that wrong, near Locarno. And this is a mountain that is looking over Locarno and over Lago Maggiore. And this is even open right now. It is February, and I have friends that have been going up there because there's been so little snow. But they officially open for kind of summer season in mid-March, and you can ride up to the top. You can do the hikes if they're, you know, free of snow, and you get gorgeous views over the lake. So this, if you want to have the kind of that mountain experience, this is kind of a sure thing because it is usually much warmer in the Ticino area. It also has a funicular ride, which is kind of fun, and then yeah, walking along the lakeside afterwards is also really beautiful. Number 8 on my list is also in Ticino, near Locarno. This is the Valle Verzasca, and you're probably familiar with this from pictures and videos of people jumping in this gorgeously clear water that's in this river, and then also jumping off of the bridge into the water. So it's really a gorgeous place in summer, but the water is icy cold even in summer, so it's got to be really hot to justify jumping in the water. You're not going to be doing that in April, but you can hike along the river. So you can go all the way up the valley, either by bus or by car, to a tiny little village, and then walk back along that river back to this famous swimming spot. I think it's a great hike to do really any time of year, and in springtime it should be, well, in April it should be free of snow, and just a really gorgeous hike. So I have all the details for that hike on the website, and like I said, just go to the article that's linked in the description below and it'll get trail maps and directions on how to get there. Now I've come to the winter walk section of my video because the 2 most famous regions of Switzerland, so the Jungfrau Region near Interlaken and Zermatt near the Matterhorn, these are definitely open for skiing through April. So you're not going to be doing mountain hikes in these areas. But you can possibly do winter hikes in these areas, which is basically the same thing except for you're walking on snow. Now, a winter trail in Switzerland means that they're grooming the trail and making it really smooth, so you don't need snowshoes on it, and you can really just go with normal hiking shoes. But of course, in springtime, it could get quite wet and slushy, so if you have waterproof shoes, that's the best. And also, I would definitely take walking poles to give you some balance, because it could be a little, I don't know, a little unstable with lots of the snow getting all mushy. But so in my post, I have at number 9, some winter walks that are in the Jungfrau region. So I did a bunch of research about what lifts are going to be open and what trails should be open during that time. But definitely you need to check the website to see if those trails are open. Probably the ones that I would do. So there's one, let's see, from Grütschalp, like you go from Lauterbrunnen up the mountain to Grütschalp, and then you walk to Muren. And this is kind of along the train, the mountain train that goes there, and you have gorgeous panorama views and should be pretty easy walking. The other one that you might be able to do, but not quite sure, we'll have to check when we get close to the date, is over at Grindelwald, and you could walk up to the Bachalpsee, and this would be really gorgeous in wintertime. Unfortunately, by April, the sledding trails there will not be open. Also in the Jungfrau region, you could go up to the Jungfrau Joch. I just did a whole video about that. And by April, they will have that winter trail that's going out to the monks, the Monkjoch Hütte. And so this is about a 45-minute winter trail each way. And then you could have lunch there. You can even sleep overnight. So that would also be quite a special experience if you want. It's a little pricey, but really special if you want to do that. So number 10 on my list is their Zermatt region. And like I said, this is still going to be winter there. Their lifts are open through like the 19th of April in 2020. And also some of them are even open to the beginning of May. And then of course the glaciers open year round for skiing. So it's at much higher elevation. There's probably definitely going to be snow there. So winter walk would be your best option. My first choice would be to go up the Gornergrat and then do the winter walk by the Riffelsee to Riffelberg. I have all the details for that in my post. The second choice would be if you wanted to go up to the Matterhorn Glacier Paradise. This is this viewpoint over the Matterhorn. You're not going to hike there, you could ski there, but you can go down to the middle station and over to the Schwarzsee, and then they do have a winter walk from there back down to Zurich. So again, I have all the details for those. I would definitely check on the status of those trails and ask before you go up when you're buying your tickets for the gondolas and cable cars to see what they say about the status of the trails, because again, in springtime and in these shoulder seasons, sometimes they can just get really too wet and muddy for people to be properly hiking on them. Okay, those are all my 10 tips for where to hike over Easter break in Switzerland. I hope you found this helpful. If you did, please give this video a like and share it with a friend. I'm very curious to know if you're going to do one of these hikes, so leave a comment below and let me know which one of these sounded the most interesting to you. And if you do one of these, definitely come back and let me know how you liked it. Remember to check on our website for the free download that has a summary of everything that you heard about here, and also for the website article that has all the details and links to all the things that I talked about here. And if you haven't done already, please click that subscribe button and click the little notification bell so you don't miss any of our upcoming videos, and we'll see you here next time for more family fun in Switzerland.